Mansfield Township, tucked away neatly in Krugersdorp, home to over 19,000 people, and in 1949 it would also be home to 12-year-old Desmond Mpilo Tutu after the family moved from Klerksdorp in the northwest. In his later years, Tutu would be trained and practiced as a teacher, taking after his father, Zachariah, a profession not born of passion but circumstances, after his family could not afford to send him to a medical school. But a diligent educator nonetheless. His former students at Mansfield Junior High School speak highly of the late history and English teacher.
Good teacher.
He was a good teacher. When you didn't understand, he would tell you that he was going to teach you privately when it was just the two of you, so you didn't feel uncomfortable.
It was his firm yet gentle nature that appealed to the students.
Corporal punishment, but then I don't remember a stick punishing somebody. No, he would call you to the office, talk to you. If you are guilty, then he'll show to you that, my child, this is what we do.
Some lessons transcended the classroom setting, lessons of Ubuntu and kindness.
Even if you must know that we must forgive and forget. That was what Mr. Tutu was.
This lesson would dominate Tutu's teachings throughout his life, as he took to the pulpit and in his fight for freedom and subsequently reconciliation.
What we do to another who is of another race, we are doing to ourselves. You and I and all of us belong in this one family, God's family. All of us, all. Families should not, do not usually discriminate among their children. Imagine if in a family we said babies with brown eyes will get more food, better education than babies in the same family who have blue eyes. It is utterly preposterous. But we did it here. And people have been trying to find what is the formula for coexistence. And they came up with the thing that you call the golden rule: do unto others as you would they did to you. We are better because we say no. It's actually more than that. You know what? I depend utterly on you for me to be human. I need you. I need you. I need you to help me to become me. And you need me.
As a young boy, Tutu would play soccer at the local school where his father taught and assumed the role of principal in Mansfield, despite those around him reluctantly admitting that he wasn't endowed with sporting prowess. This would spark his lifelong love for sports.
And then what kind of a soccer player was he?
Well, below average, below average. Seeing him, the latest Desmond Tutu, when they were playing soccer, They were playing against the local taxi drivers. Here, the ground was just beyond this new building, that side. When he was playing, while wearing spectacles, I was amazed. Not only that time, even up to now, because at my age, I'm 75. I've only witnessed 3 people playing soccer, spectacled.
In the 1950s, Tutu would resign from the teaching profession. This in protest of the Bantu Education Act of 1953, an act that was meant to ensure that blacks received inferior education in contrast to their white counterparts. It was anchored in the infamous phrase of the chief architect of apartheid, Hendrik Verwoerd, "Give the black child an education that will make him serve his master. There cannot be any equality between blacks and whites."
We were opposed at the time, one, to that enforced mother tongue instruction, knowing that very few of our languages had the textbooks that kids were having to use. And second, we knew that it was being used deliberately to weaken their grasp of English, or Afrikaans, English especially, which was, the universal language and would have given you access even if they'd given you an inferior education. And then they also had, there were certain subjects you couldn't teach. In history, you couldn't teach about the French Revolution. You couldn't teach about the American War of Independence. Those were taboo subjects because it was imagined that they would instigate blacks into doing subversive things. And you know that Verwoerd said, what's the point of teaching a black child mathematics? What are they going to do with mathematics? And that he said, he stood here in Parliament and said, without batting an eyelid, the purpose is to teach black children enough English and Afrikaans so that they would understand the instructions that they were given by their white employers.
Tutu's impact in the Manseville community was felt by many, leading to the local library being named after him. It is Tutu's infectious, boisterous laugh that even his former students remember him so fondly for. One that will now linger in the heavens, a reminder that joy and love could survive in the face of adversity.
We raise our hands and we say, we will be free! All of us!
President Cyril Ramaphosa has afforded Tutu a special funeral Category 1. His funeral will be at the St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town on Saturday. Zoleka, Qodashe, SABC News, Johannesburg.